Welcome back. So now that we've created a couple of components right here, let's start actually creating the real component, the actual file detail component. Now before I do that, I just want to clean up a little bit because it's just annoying to have 3 lines right here. So I'm just going to, so that when I'm inside the albums, I'm only going to see the file details component for now. So I'm just going to jump into albums and just remove everything except the actual system container right here. There we go. Now that is out of the way. And then I'm going to go into the system container and remove everything except the details. And then later on we can start building this again and adding columns instead of, this should not be directly under the container, right? That should be columns. But don't worry, we'll get back to that later again. I'm just doing this to have a template or an area where I can kind of show how the file details looks right now. Okay, sweet. Let's try and go into this again. Now I want some kind of image, and I want some kind of metadata information right here for my file details component, and I'm going to use a card for that, because if you go into Angular material IO right here and you look at the examples, there's a very cool example right here that I'm going to use, and that's a card looking like this. So I just want a title here for my card, not an image. Then I want the actual image in the center, and then maybe a list of the metadata down here, and I expect to have some kind of delete button right here to say I don't want this image anymore. Maybe something like that. That's the main thoughts I have for the setup right here. So I'm going to start out by just grabbing the code for this exact card, and I'm just going to paste it into my code just to get started right here. So back to the code and going into the file details component, removing everything and pasting in this new code I just grabbed. Now right away you'll see the red lines. That's of course because I don't know about the card module yet inside the file system. So mat card module. Now again, I know it's kind of a pain that you have to remember to import these modules all the time, but again, you'll make your application a lot stronger in the long run. So keep doing this, keep adding the modules as you need them, right? Now the other module I know I'm going to use in a second is going to be the flex layout module, so let's just get that in there right away. 2 modules that we're going to use in a second. So jumping back here, it should now fix the problems. There we go, and let's just try and have a look at our application now. And now you can see here we have the beautiful dog right here, and it's grabbing up all the space. It's also not centering and stuff like that, so let's just figure that out right now. Jumping back to the code. Now we already did this with the profile, so I kind of have an idea about how to do it now. I just add a div to kind of wrap my entire card, and that div is going to be the main flex layout. That's going to be the owner container of my card. Now he's going to have a layout of row. Now I'm going to add the row because I want to explain to the system that I want this card to be centered horizontally. Not vertically, but horizontally. So that's kind of why I need to explain that this is a row now, right? With the row layout, I can say I want to center this row. So I want to say the layout aligning is going to be centered. So now it knows that this card right here is going to be centered in the view, but it's still 100% width, so you're not going to see that it's centered, right? The last thing I want to kind of do here is I'm going to say, let's get rid of this example card, I don't want that in there. We're going to say that the actual card itself is going to have a flex of 80. You can put in any number, right? But that's just going to try to show you guys now it's going to be centered, right? Now we have 10% at each side, and then the rest is in the center. That's all you have to do. Sweet. So now we have a card in the center right here, and let's just start out by actually removing a bit of things. I don't want this image right here. I want a title, and the title should just be, let's just put in, right now it's going to be bogus data. I just want to build the UI for now. So I'm going to say maybe great day at the beach. I don't know. Maybe that's the image I put in here. And then maybe the subtitle could be the name of the file, 000.jpg. So this is going to be the display name, and this is going to be the file name. Maybe we'll change that later, but look at this. Now it should actually change this. So now we have a good name here for the file and the display name. Now regarding the card content and the metadata, what I want to do here is I want to add some kind of list in here. So we're going to need a mat list. Let's just try and see how we can actually do that. So jumping into material IO again and find the list right here. It seems we can just make a general list like this. And I want to just have a look at what kind of list we have available. I think what I want to use is actually, there's something called a dense list. I know that. There we go. I'm going to try and use this dense list, and let's try and see how that actually looks inside our setup right here. So just put that inside the content, and notice again, you don't know what a mat list is. Of course you don't, but you will, because I'll just import the mat list module right here. There we go. Now you know about that one. Let's just try and have a see. Let's have a see. Have a look at how this actually works right now. So going back to my view right now, Let's have a look at the content down here. Now we have a list. Now we want this list to contain two pieces of information. It's going to be, first of all, it's going to be, for instance, file name, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to have some different properties, and those properties are, of course, coming from the file over here. So what do we need? Well, we need these properties right here inside our file list. So let's just copy them, jump back to the code, and let's just add these guys down here for now. And I want a created right here. So I'll say created. Don't worry, I'll change this in a second. And I want to just put in the created date right here. Now this is going to be a property that we're going to grab from somewhere else. I want the file name. I'm just, again, trying to set up the UI right here so I can have a look if I'm satisfied with this. So the file name, let's just put that in there. There we go. And again, I want to put in the MIME type, so let's just put file type here because nobody understands MIME type anyway. So let's put in file type, and let's just put in JPEG right here. And again, I don't want that because that's already there. The owner, that's me, I don't care about that. The size, that might also be relevant. And let's just put in, this is going to be kilobytes, so let's just say 2.93 megabyte. I don't know. We'll figure it out again later. It's just something where that should be lowercase, uppercase. So this is kind of going to be my file list that I want to display. There we go. Let's try and jump back and have a look at how this starts to show up now in our UI. And yeah, we can make it look shinier later on if we want to. But at least now we have some metadata, we have some image, and we have some kind of an overview, a display name and stuff like that. Now all of this is just hard-coded right now, so we need to grab that data from the database soon. But before we do it, I just wanted to do one more thing. I don't want these two buttons down here, so let's just go down here and actually, we need the mat button in here to start using them anyway. So let's add the mat button module. Mat button module. It's actually weird that it doesn't explode when I don't have modules in here. That could have been nice actually, so I know that I'm missing the module. But I think that's the reason why it doesn't show the button right, as it should right now. And let's just add this as a delete button for now and get rid of this guy. So let's just start out by adding the color right here, and the color is going to be equal to 1, like this. Let's save this and see if that actually helps. So we get this red color now on our button. Yeah, there we go. I also want the button to be raised. So let's just add raised right here, raised button, save that. Now notice we could keep doing this forever. You can always change UI and you can always make it prettier. I'm not the best at doing that, but still I want you guys to just have an overview of some of the things we could do. I also want to kind of add the mat icon right here, mat icon, because I want an icon in here. Now it doesn't know about the icon yet because I don't have it in here, so I'll just add the mat icon inside my import, mat icon module. There we go. Now that's available. Jumping back here, and actually in here I'm going to just add something called delete. I think there's a delete icon. Let's try and see if that's the case. There we go. Now we have a beautiful delete button. So this is kind of going to be my details page. Everything's hard-coded right now. I know all the text is hard-coded. So next lesson we're going to start adding some input so we can start getting some dynamic data instead of these hard-coded values. That's it for this lesson. See you next time. Have fun.